I'm leaving the YouTube app open, which is going to make me hear myself echo. I just want to know if anyone can hear me. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. I don't see any action here. Lorelei. Sorry, folks, technical difficulties here.
Hello.
Hello. I hope
All
people
right.
can hear us now. I can hear
now
it
I
echoes.
can hear you. Then before I couldn't hear you, and then I muted and went to YouTube and couldn't hear you either. So I think no one could hear you.
Well, I hope we've got that solved now.
Mm.
Lorelei, she's just tearing holes in my clothing today. What do you mean? You're trying to say you're not? And cause you can't just keep working your way down. You can sit on my chest if you want, or up on my shoulder. Get up on the shoulder. Although it might save my clothing if I let you sit down there. Lorelei. Well, it looks like we have a chance at getting pre-approved for a loan. It's been a lot of work. I was on the phone for 2 hours this morning filling out stuff and doing all kinds of things trying to make this happen. So looks like we have a shot at it. They're going to have to drum up some more money though, because things are just costing a fortune to get this going. And I'm going to need more money just to buy clothing if this one doesn't stop eating my clothes. You're being a moth, you know that. This little moth of mine, Lorelei. Lorelei, baby girl. See yourself, Lorelei? You see the baby girl? Can you see the baby? That's the baby girl. And the cause. So they've restructured things to try to use the VA loan, which entails a whole bunch of magic you got to do in the background to make that happen. So we'll see. I'm encouraged. Things are moving along. I'm doing everything I'm told to do. So don't tell me to do anything stupid because I probably do it. I just, what are you laughing at? Amanda, are you up there laughing? You up there laughing? Are you? Silly. It's too bad I can't spotlight myself. That's something that would be good, but I don't think I can. No, I can't. So. We need at least 3 people in the Zoom meeting for that to happen. Lorelei. Laurel Fly. And I have no idea what's going on because I can't see what's going on in there. Let me see if I can do an invite. And maybe somebody can come in just so that Anne-Marie can talk without taking over the camera. Bear with me a second. I can't see the screen. I can't even see the screen now because I'm busy trying to post this. Let's see, create a post. It's text. Don't. Lorelei, please. He's just eating my clothing at an incredible rate. Stop, Lorelei. I don't really need to have my clothes torn off me today. Okay, I posted up on YouTube. So if somebody joins the chat, we can have Anne Marie talk. Otherwise, every time she talks, it's going to steal the screen. Zoom should make it so you can spotlight, even if you only have like 2 people
To be
in
honest,
there.
I don't know if we are still live because at my place, your video stands still. So it might. Oh no! It's going again. Okay, so
okay. Good.
It's going again.
Oh, and I can't tell if it's taking over the screen when you talk, but doesn't seem to be on this end, but you never know. Oh, and I've got this little monster here that just wants to eat my clothing. I'm just being a monster, Lorelei. Calm down. All fired up, little girl. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now I can spotlight. There we go. Okay. With any luck, we're broadcasting. And you
I
guys
can
see us,
talk.
and you can talk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can. After 2 hours on the phone with trying to
So let's
get the
see. I
deets.
can tell you what's going on in chat. So far, we have Michelle Thompson in chat. So welcome, Michelle, Falcon Sue, and Sabrina Smith. So welcome to you all.
Hi.
And thank you for waiting and solving our technical problems. But now we are here. Great to have you all. GTH is here too. He says the premiere was fun, though. Yeah. Bender having a fit is always a great pleasure because he's so expressive.
Yeah, he is. Aren't you, big boy? Now he comes over and sticks his face at me early on. And we just got out here. We've only been out here for what, 15 minutes before we started. It's because I was on the phone from 9 a.m. till 11:30. So with different people, getting things straightened out to make this work. So feels like putting a puzzle together, doesn't it, Salamander? He says, I don't know, just pet me. Just pet me. That's what I want. Just pet the mander. And I've noticed Jasmine, I've got her back up to her full dosage of Haldol, but she's still playing with her chest a bit. I don't know what that's all about. I may have to raise her up some more because I'm seeing just a little thinness. Let me see if I can get this camera turned around here. Just a little thinness in between the upper section, just under the neck. You can see how that's a little bit thin. So I may have to raise her up on her dosage again. I hate doing that because she's been so good. It started yesterday, and I've got her back up to, she was at 0.13, and now she's at 0.15 again. And don't know, something sparked it, but you never quite know what cues the behavior. It's a built-in response to what they didn't, kind of nurturing they needed and didn't get. So, right, Mander? Lorelei, can I keep some of my clothing, please? Please? Or is that too much to ask? Clean the lens? Okay. Oh, he just moves over. I was getting petted and now you're turning another way, so I'm back over here. Pause, you be nice now. You be a good girl. Lorelei, I know when you're eating my clothing, and I don't really care for that. There's no way to stop you, actually, but is there, baby? Yeah, you can see the little holes she's making in my clothes all along. Another one she made right there. Silly girl. And she'll keep going until you have a big hole. I mean, she's just like having a moth chewing on your clothing. So it should be Laurel Moth, not Laurel Fly.
So we have a few questions in the chat. I think we start with Sabrina. She has a new cockatoo adopted, and I think she talked about it in one of the last live streams, that the former owner said that his name is Hogwarts, but she hopes he will accept Ender, because the cockatoo doesn't react at all to the name they told her.
Oh, if he's not reacting to the name, that's probably like what happened with Jasmine. She didn't know her name. Just pick a name, whatever you like. And then whenever you use the name, provide the treat that the bird likes the most. So you put a tray out with different treats, find out what the bird likes, take it out of its diet, and use that bird to train them. So that's what I would do, is just call by that name and give the treat at the same time. If you put any time between calling the name and giving the treat, then you need to use a bridge. And the bridge I use is Good Bird. Okay, that's the bridge I use. There's actually, I don't know if I should go into this. There's actually two types of bridges. And I'll give you an example. If the bird's doing what I want it to, but it's not going to get an immediate reward, I say Good Bird. If the bird is getting going to get the reward immediately, in other words, we're doing some sequence of things, at the end there's a reward, then I say Good Bird, raising my voice up. So one is a final cue or a final bridge, and the other one is an intermediate bridge. It's kind of like, keep going, you're going to get there, and now you're there. That's the way you work. So call the bird by its name, give it that little treat, and it won't take long for the bird to associate it. Most birds will pick
you
that
can
up
see it
quickly.
with Jasmine. I think she's a good example for that.
See her look straight down at me now. It's a Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
She responds.
Now in chat is Dirty Birds Inc. And I think she's donated $5 before. Thank you very much for your help, and great to have you here. She has a cockatoo, Ace, and he is 33 years old. And she asked the question about which treat is the best for training before in chat, I think.
The main thing is once you've figured out the treat, which we usually do by taking a tray of different kinds of treats and putting it in front of them, and whichever one they pick. Now this can change over time. If they stop responding to a treat, then you may have to do the tray thing again. But let's say they pick a sunflower seed, then from then on, you're going to use a sunflower seed. If it's a big bird, then you can use a whole sunflower seed. If it's a little bird, you're dealing with a cockatoo or a budgie, then you want to use just a piece of it. Because as soon as they get full, once their stomach is full, that treats don't work anymore. That's where the secondary reinforcers come in. Good Bird is a good example. It is a bridge, but it also works as a secondary reinforcer. So what a secondary reinforcer is either a verbal or a physical cue that lets the bird know that it's done what it needs to do to get a reward. But over time, what happens is that becomes a reward in itself. So if I say Good Bird to a bird that's done something right, you see me do that out here. A bird will be making like Bob will be screaming, and he's not screaming really because he's not going to do it all day, but he'll squawk really loud. And because we're in the neighborhood, I'll tell you to be quiet. As soon as he's quiet for 10 seconds, then I'll say Good Bird. So I'm rewarding that behavior, and he doesn't need a treat for that. That reward is not as strong, but it is a reward. Or I'll say Bob's a good boy, and that's another reward. He likes to be told he's a good boy or a good bird. So, but yeah, you just put out the tray, whatever it is they like. If they like sunflower seeds, they never get them again unless you're training. And training can be as simple as walking up to the cage, and which is called come bearing gifts. You walk up to the cage and you put the treat through, or they're sitting on a perch and just hand a treat to them. Once in a while, 3 or 4 times a day, you just give them a little tiny treat. That keeps them attentive, that keeps their attention on you. And then the other thing you need to do, which is calm attention, is Usually this is done inside of a cage through the bars, but you don't have to. It can be done while they're sitting on a perch. Get them to look at you for 1 second and then give them a little piece of the treat and then repeat it for 1 second. And you want to build up over time and and I suggest you use the second hand on a watch or a timer on your watch or on the clock. Hold on a second. Who is trying to get a hold of me?
Dirty Bird said or asked if bananas can be a reward.
Sure they can.
Yeah, I think if he put it in pieces, banana pieces, and offers him a piece of banana after every training step. Great idea.
You can take a craft stick too and just put a little bit of banana on the end of it, so you don't have to give them too much, because once they're full, it's over. That's where the secondary reinforcer is gonna once you build that up so that they are responding to secondary reinforcers, you don't have to use as many primary reinforcers. In other words, you don't have to use food. I've known birds that the primary reinforcer is petting them. In fact, there was an umbrella cockatoo I saw someone work with named Rocky, who didn't have any interest in being fed food as a reward. He needed to be petted. And so when you trained him, you would use the bridge and say, "Good bird." I don't remember what the word was. He had a different word, but you say "good bird," and then he would pet him. And then, both good bird, the secondary reinforcer, and the primary, they're called primary reinforcers because you don't need to do anything for them to work. If you're outside freezing and I bring a heater, you're going to respond to the heater because you need the heat. If you're burning up in the heat and I turn on an air conditioner, you're going to respond. That's a primary. You're hungry and I hand you food, it's built-in response. Secondaries are conditioned. So you condition them to respond to certain cues that they see from you. So.
Okay, and Michelle has a question about the move. She wants to know if the move will stress out the birds.
Oh, yeah, it will.
If you already know when the move will be.
No, we have to get the pre-approval first. And the lender has talked to the real estate agent. So that makes you feel like it's going to happen, right? Because they don't usually talk to each other until you're getting to the point where it looks like it's going to happen. We still have a couple of things that have to be done, and they have to be done right for it to happen. So then the real estate agent will put together, a list of homes to look at that are in the price range. And then someone that I know over there who runs a rescue is going to go check those homes out for us. And the worst part of this whole thing is, in order for us to move, I may actually have to trust the individual over there to get not just the inspector from the VA, but also get a second inspector, home inspector, to come out. And I will have to trust her word that it's going to be a good home, because I can't leave these guys. I have no one who can give them medicine. I could theoretically, if the temperature is not too bad, I could drive with all of them in the van, but I hate to cross state lines with 11 birds in small cages, and it's going to rattle them a lot too. So I haven't figured that part out, but whatever happens, I've got to make sure they get their meds. So I may have to take them with me when I sign the papers, or I may have to see if I can trust the person over there to check it out and say, this would be good. And then the home inspector to look at it and just go with it. We need a place. So
I think if, as you said, in Nevada or in that area might be other people who work for nonprofits or are have experience with birds and rescues. I think we likely find there are people who have the knowledge about birds and about homes and can be trusted, and they will look for you.
Yeah, that's what we're fortunate. The real estate agent that we have has done this before for a rescue. Okay, and let me put it this way: there was a lady that's probably fairly well known around the world named Heidi Fleiss. She doesn't live there anymore, but she had friends in Los Angeles who ran a bird rescue there. So she said, well, you ought to come out here. And they're like, well, we don't make enough money to do that. We're on, Social Security. And so anyway, she helped. And then this realtor helped them and they got a home there. And so she knows and of course they're a bird rescue. They don't do cockatoos. They have one cockatoo who won't let anybody touch them. That's going to be my little job, bringing that cockatoo back out of that state. Apparently he's pretty good at, taking body parts, but that's what I'm specialized in, is dealing with birds with physical or mental issues. So she knows what we need. She'll go out and look at these places. And then the realtor knows as well, because the realtor had to search for this rescue to find a home. So she knows that we need space around us. We can't have neighbors who are going to be complaining. We can't have there aren't too many homeowners associations, fortunately, in this part of Nevada. So it's kind of like a Wild West there. So, which is good for us. So we can't have a homeowners association. There's no way. Can't have somebody with a little hat pulled down over their ears going, I don't like what you're doing. We can't have that. So, which is the big problem another big problem is trying to rent. If you can find a place that will rent you something, then they're all concerned about, well, we just fixed this place up so we could rent it, and you're going to bring birds in there, and we can't have that. They have to be able to tear things up, and I have to be able to fix them. That's the way it has to work. If they eat some molding off the wall, I have to be able to fix it. I mean, it's the way it works. They can't be sitting in cages all day, and if they can't go outside, or if they're done outside, they need to have a spot inside where they can hang out too. This is what they don't get here. So
yeah,
I don't think it isn't wearing on them, because it is. What are you guys doing back there?
but I think when you get the sanctuary gets approved for a loan, or for the financing, I think then we also find a house somewhere.
Right. That's once we have the pre-approval, then the realtor will start looking. Realtors don't generally look unless they know that they're going to sell a house, because they're spinning their wheels.
It doesn't look too bad with the finance pre-approving thing, right? No,
it looks like it's going to go through, but we had to do some creative things, and you were a big help there too, Anna Marie. So
finding creative solution, that's part of the physicist's job. They work therefore everywhere, in banks, in finances. You will find them everywhere. They fix up the mess other people produce.
But it is a complicated thing.
And
it's complicated. I mean, but it looks like everything is gonna. It probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the VA loan, because we don't have to make a down payment. That's the big deal. So Lorelei, that poor little girl, Lorelei, come on, let's get you off my lap. Maybe that'll stop you from this. You okay? I want you on my lap, but not if you're going to sit there and vibrate. It's not good for you.
How's Mommy Pip doing?
Well, she's maintaining her weight. Her poop doesn't have a bad odor to it anymore, but she's still a little bit high on her weight. She hasn't laid another egg, though. She's only got 2 in there. But she's eating a little more than, I don't know, either she's eating a little more or she's making another egg, but it's not going up. She's gained about 40 grams and she's holding. So I don't know what that means.
Eleanor says, is Lorelei on spin cycle today?
Oh, yeah. That, plus she's tearing holes in my clothing. She's back to being a moth. Aren't you, Lorelei? That cause. It's just Lorelei's in the pacing mode.
And Eleanor asks if Pippa still sits on the other 2 eggs?
She's starting to show a little less interest, but you still find her on them occasionally. So you're back? I figured you'd come back.
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think Don can tell something about from Sabrina. It's about what's the best way to introduce playing to an older bird who doesn't seem interested or don't know how to play?
Probably one of the most difficult things to do, but I would suggest whatever toys you're trying to introduce them with. If you're talking about a cockatoo, what I would do is sit and play with the toy in front of the bird and use an example of playing. So you might need to have 2 toys, one for them and one for you, because they pick things up with their beak and you don't want them handling stuff after you've had it in your mouth, because human mouth, nasty. Not much worse than a human mouth. Dog, maybe. Cat's definitely worse. But play with it yourself. And since they do use their feet, so take one hand and play with something, the other hand and play with it. Put it in. Yeah, you sure about that? Yelling at the ice cream vendor.
Oh, I thought I had such kind of music.
Yeah. Oh, now you see your opportunity to get petted.
Amanda wants chocolate.
Oh, no chocolate for
And
Amanda.
Sugar says she wants strawberry and vanilla.
And Lucy would want popcorn flavor. Oh, you want to steal it now? You want to be the one petted? Okay.
That's so funny. I never heard that before. That's not that we have such a thing in Germany, I think, but it's so cool.
Yeah. Example. Birds learn both by example. They learn by example both ways. They learn by modeling, which is where they watch someone else do something and then they copy it. And they learn vicariously, which they watch somebody do something, another being do something, and they get hurt, or there's a bad result, and then they don't do that thing. So,
oh no, Sugar wants that cream so badly.
Yeah, come over and present the head. It works, doesn't it? Present the beak, this beak. So try that. Literally play with the bird. I've watched them pick up that kind of behavior from each other too. But if you model the behavior you want them to do, the other thing you can do is you can take paper, just writing paper or something, and then show them the treat that they like. It would be the training treat, and put one inside the paper, and then hand it to them. Just roll it up a little bit. If that doesn't work, you can sit it on top of the paper and then slowly bend it around so the bird gets the idea. Depends on how nervous the bird is, so. And then, so now you've got them having to get through the paper to get the treat. There are also some toys that are clear, where you put things like treats in them with a hole that the treat can fall out, like a sunflower seed or something. That's one way, but I wouldn't put too many in there if you're using their primary training reinforcer. So, whatever the food item is, it's usually food that's the primary reinforcer. Hi, Jazz Bird. Hello, Jazz Bird. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get in trouble if I stop petting you. I know that. Yeah, petting one Mullican when the other one wants to be petted is not my best thing here.
As Sabrina said in chat that she might have to start modeling playing for him. For her cockatoo.
Modeling what?
Playing. Because
the
topic was
exactly.
How to get the cockatoo to play. Because she has an adopted cockatoo, which is new. I think she has him or her now for 2 weeks or so.
And he's not playing.
Yeah, and it's an older cockatoo, and it's not playing. The bird people who had him before gave her probably the wrong name or didn't call him that name, so he doesn't react. So sounds a little bit like when Jasmine came first.
A lot of people get these birds and think, you know, it's cute. I can take it out when I want to. It doesn't work that way. So what probably happened is the bird doesn't know its name because it hasn't been called it in a long time. Doesn't play with toys because it didn't get any. I had that same problem with Babaloo. They didn't give him any toys, so what did he do? He played with dried poop. And I still have to watch him to make sure he doesn't do that, because that's what he did. And then Lucy had a similar problem, but it was easy to break. Same place, came from the same place. Romeo just didn't play. He just wasn't used to it. Now he does, but he didn't play with toys. It took quite a while. Expect it to take a while too, because if they don't realize they're supposed to play, it's modeling it will help, and just don't give up. Just keep trying. Use foot toys, things that they can use with their feet, things that they can play with their beak, and then just model the behavior you want to see. And if you're not quite sure what that behavior is, just watch videos of birds playing with toys. So you can see Cecil do what he does with toys. Sometimes rattles will get their attention if you shake a rattle, if you play with a rattling toy.
She's at the moment the cutest chook in the world. Oh, let's see her. Oh my. Yes, Shuggy, you are as cute as this ice cream cone.
Isn't she the cutest? This one here.
Yeah. Shuggy?
Oh, Cos, you're cute too.
Pink
I'm not
cotton
go
candy.
After Lorelai, though. Hi, Luce. What you doing up there, Luce girl? Hey, Lucy. Hey, Rome. You hiding up there? Trying to keep away from Salamander. Salamander bothers him sometimes. I usually have to take Salamander out when I bring the boys in, and then bring him back at the end.
Oh, Shuggy.
He likes to torture Romeo when he can do that. And if I'm not in here, he figures he can do it.
Who's mean to Romeo?
Sal.
Mander, what's going on with you?
Yeah, Mander does that. He corners him, and where he is right up there, that might happen. Although I'm not sure he'll go around Lucy. Lucy is small.
That was a chatty song.
But she won't give an inch when it comes to taking, she doesn't give an inch about, you're not going to mess with me. She'll reach over and bite somebody. She doesn't bite hard, but enough to make them back away. Oh, you want me to pet you some more? Okay. Yeah, I would make the switch, but I can't before I get off today, but they haven't been out long enough. They've got to be out for 2 hours. I'm way behind in all my chores too. I mean, they got their breakfast, but I got to clean cages and all that stuff. And yet I lost like 2.5 hours this morning.
Oh no. Did you yesterday party hard with the birds?
No, not really. Just all that time on the phone.
Babaloo might give you the greatest and most craziest party ever. Of course, with Cecil as a host.
Oh, Cecil, that bird. He makes it tough to give Bob his food. I have to time things just right to get his attention away from it. Otherwise, he's trying to get me through the bars while I'm trying to feed Bob. And of course, Bob has to come out and be held when you change his bowls. That's the way he is. So that poor guy, that small cage is driving him batty. Big bird in a 32-inch cage just doesn't make it. And getting back into his big 507 King's cage.
Lorelai.
Yeah, moving's going to be real fun too.
Yeah, and I'm really curious what happens when they get the greater aviary, because then how how maybe the birds who can fly, if they will start to fly more.
Yeah, I am too. We'll see what happens. I hope everything works. It looks like it's going to, but you can't tell in this country. They can't give you a firm yes or no. It's just like, yeah, it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen, and that's all you can do.
So Doris is in the chat. So hello, Doris. Good to see you.
Basic girl. What are you doing up there?
Oh, Manda, don't be mean to the Romeo.
Yeah. Well, if Lucy stays where she is, that may keep him from doing it. I don't know. But
Oh, cheat, cheat, cheat. That was a jazzy song.
you want down, Jazz? Well, come here. Oh, I know what you want. Well, maybe if you can get her to preen you, I won't have to worry about her tearing my clothes up. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be a feat. Moving the cage, getting cages set up there so that I have a place for them to go, and making sure they get their medicine, because I don't have anyone here to help with that. So this is another reason we have to have a place, because I've got to get somewhere where I can bring in volunteers, and these folks won't let me do that. So they don't want strangers in their home. So I understand that, but still, it's going to be complicated trying to make sure everybody gets their meds. I know Sugar and Jasmine have to go with me no matter what. The rest of them need their meds too, or they're going to start losing feathers. So I'll find a way to do it. I might end up having to cart them around. Depends. If it's in spring, it won't be too bad. It depends on the temperature. If it's too hot, you got to leave the air conditioning in the vehicle running. And
But I think when we found a house, then we will get the move also done.
We will. I just it's hard for me to conceive exactly how I'm going to do it, but I know that if worst comes to worst,
then there will be some motivated helper, and
may need somebody to drive the truck that's going to have all the cages, or I'll have to hire. That gets expensive. A moving company to take all that stuff. Imagine that would be cheap.
And even Carol is in the chat, so welcome, Carol. Good to see you.
Hey, Carol. This is keeping Lorelei from eating my clothing, so that's good. As it is, I have to break out needle and thread again because she's just decided to poke holes in everything. Haven't you, little girl? What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? Yeah, there's complications all around until we finally get settled. So aren't a lot of options though in the way the state of the economy is. You gotta buy a house. There's no way around it. Can't afford to rent. Can't afford to have a homeowners association or some tenant management company telling us what we can and can't do. So what? What's that look for? What's that look for? Hmm? What's that look for? Well, I feel like my head's been put into Actually, I feel like in The Princess Bride, I've been put on that machine today. They turned it up to 20. Fill out this form. Fill out. I got more forms to fill out tomorrow. That's at like 8:30 in the morning. I got to fill out a whole bunch of forms. So. Like today, I had to download a PDF reader and one that allows you to sign and fill in forms. I had to do all that. I had to choose one, and then the fun part was like putting account numbers in blocks. That is, you got to click and just kind of get it right where you can drop a number. And I think I have more of that to do tomorrow. So it just gave me a spot to type a number. It wouldn't have been so bad, but you got to type 16 numbers by clicking a little box until you can type in there. It's just, grumble, complain. I'd rather be out dealing with the birds and their issues, to be honest. All this stuff is necessary, but a definite necessary evil having to fill out paperwork. Right, Mander? I don't know. I just want to get petted. They're petting that other one up there. That other one, that sugar bird.
Sabrina, first, we have ASM World in the chat, so hello and welcome. And Sabrina asked if we ever thought about branching out to TikTok.
We have a TikTok presence, but the government's trying to do something about shutting it down here. We do have one. I just kind of forget that I can post up there. There's no way to bring in any kind of income on it. But I still like to post there. And, I'll have to remember to do it. I just had so much on my mind lately that I'd forgotten all about TikTok, basically. I just heard that they're trying to shut it down. It's like, the Chinese aren't trying to run the world through TikTok. I mean, these guys that are in Congress on both sides, they don't know anything about digital. I've heard them speak. They have no clue what's going on. Their idea of digital is the buttons on the old phones that you used to press, the landlines that had the buttons on them. That's their concept of digital. They don't know. I heard some of these where congressmen were asking questions of geeks, and you could tell they didn't understand a thing. They didn't get it. So. Everything goes through the internet anyway. So I mean, it's pretty much the Wild West out there.
Yeah, we have a channel on TikTok and some videos on it.
Yeah, we do.
But it's difficult to serve and maintain all social media. So our main focus is at the moment, I think, YouTube, right, Don? And then we have YouTube, Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And we also tried out TikTok a bit.
Yeah, I actually want to do more TikTok now that I hear. I hate it when they try to take away the freedom of speech, Well, we can't have this company because whatever their excuse is. TikTok is just a bunch of small videos. It's kind of cute. They let you can pick some music. Unfortunately, we're a business, so we can't pick everything. We're kind of limited what we can put on music. But then again, I can create my own. So if I have time, in about 20 minutes, I can make a song. So if you look at our stuff especially on Instagram, you'll see quite a few of them just have music, or actually on YouTube too. There's music there. I actually did it. I just created the music on Apple's Logic, which is a music platform for creating music. It's like GarageBand on steroids. I mean, you can create something in one key and then shift keys around, do all kinds of fun stuff. But I don't know how many samples of instruments there are, but it's about Probably 20,000 or 30,000 different instruments have been sampled. So if you put anything that's copyrighted, then you have to deal with, you know, Facebook is the worst for that because they have no way to deal with copyrighted music. So if you have something that they think is copyrighted, they just cut the sound off on your video. YouTube comes back and says, "Oh, this is copyrighted," and then you have to file something showing that you have a license to use it, and we have Storyblocks, so we do have a license. Then you have to show exactly which song it was. Then you have to wait for the ad company, who seems to have the power over everything, to release it to you, to say, "Oh yes, you do have a legal right." Since when does AdRev or one of these companies have a legal right to tell you what's copyrighted? You know, it's all about money. That's what it's about. But they're trying to steal the money, whatever money.
Has another question about something called USDA, and what people have to do who show birds on social media, and the rule shall maybe start on February. She doesn't know anything about it, but she heard something.
I'm not sure I understand the question. It's about USBA. USBA is a
USDA.
USC.
DA.
The USBA would be a type of.
No, USDA.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so sorry. No idea.
I don't know a USCA. It's not something I know about. There's a lot of acronyms out there, so. Got to plead ignorance on that one. But if you remind me about it, I'll check it out. Just remind me, Amy, and I'll check it out. Because I know my mind is just lost after all I did this morning. I did so many loops to loops, and a bowl of soup, I tell you, just to try to get all this stuff lined up. So it'll work. And I have to have everything set up before the end of the year because it just has to be done by, if it's not done by the end of the year, the way they want it, which I believe I've got it set to do, then it won't happen. So I have to.
The United States Department of Agriculture. No.
Oh, USDA. Now you got me. My mind started thinking computers and it couldn't come off of it. So
yeah, and but I think the more interesting is GTH has an idea for a video hit, Babalu unboxing hit video, flying porch pirates, cockatoo graduates from opening trash bins to neighborhood Amazon packages.
Yeah, that would work. Well, maybe I can have him open, see if I can get Bob to open the box that has the pine cones, because the lady who does that was on vacation. She's getting that order ready for us now because we go through a lot of pine cones here. I can hear Bob in there. He's one of the ones that tears up the pine cones. Bob and Cecil are the biggest ones that tear up the pine cones. But Bob doesn't hit me on the head with them, so that's an advantage. Hi, Thunderbird. Hi, big boy. This is a big boy. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Hi, Cause. Hi, sweet.
Yeah,
So it's about the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What was the question? Get out of here. These squirrels are getting awful brazen. Just walk up to the house. So do you still have that question about the USDA?
Yeah, the question was that they want to introduce a rule about people who show birds on social media have to do something, really? But we don't know what and when. So, yeah.
I'll look into it. I don't know. I'm not sure what the Department of Agriculture would have to do with it. They have no control over anything like parrots. So I don't know how they could have anything to do with that. If it was...
There's Lucy Goosey back there. Well, hello, Lucy. Do you think Santa will bring you your popcorn machine? Do you have a sock? That's the Lucy. Oh no, she forgot to buy a sock. Oh, poor Lucy.
Yeah, she sure likes popcorn. Boy, she hears it. She hears you making it. She's all ready for it. First time I cooked it, I look over and I could see her cage from the door, and she was all the way to the cage looking at me like, I'm getting some of that, aren't I? And of course, she gets unsalted, just plain popcorn. But
I know.
which you can make in the microwave. I have a silicone container that you put it in. It's a floppy silicone container, and you throw the popcorn in there, and it pops it in the microwave. Or you can cook it with a little oil in a pan. But she actually prefers
I know you
it
don't
without.
need a popcorn maker, but I always imagine one of these fancy, cool,
She would.
red-colored popcorn maker next to Lucy's cage, and then she just pushes the button, and then it goes pop, 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 and she's completely excited.
Yeah, I would love for her to have something like that. That would be so cool. She is such a popcorn
And look,
maniac.
there's a Sugar with, look at that long sugar legs. That's super long sugar legs. And Lucy approaching the Shuk, and Shuk is like, do you plan to preen me? And Lucy likes, so nope. And Sugar, you want to preen me? And come on, you're a white bird, preen me.
They do kind of consider the umbrellas their servants. As down
Well,
here,
I don't think they have that mindset. Like, but I just think, that they think they can preen really good, and they do it often. So they just think, hey, you could preen me.
Hey, Luce. Hey, Lucy.
I wonder what Babalu wants to have in his. What is Eleanor saying? It's not called sock, it's called stocking.
In his stocking, it's hard to say with Bob. His tastes in things change quite a bit. He probably wants whatever Cecil gets in his, the way he is. Cecil gets something, so he steals from Cecil.
I don't think Cecil hangs a stocking at the oven. He will hang his whole bucket.
Probably not. Oh, I'll be glad when we're situated, in a new place, and these guys can get out more.
I know. Less stress, more fun. Some new volunteers.
Volunteers would be wonderful. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had volunteers since before the pandemic. Right before, when the pandemic hit, that was the last. No more volunteers, and then ever since then, it's been something that's gotten in the way of having volunteers. You can't have them here.
Mm-hmm. Just sneaking in online.
I get people constantly trying to sign up to be volunteers. I have to remember one of these days to go out there and take that ad down. But because the military base, they're required to do some community work, so they think it'd be easy to work at a bird sanctuary. For some reason, they think that's easy. But so I get a lot of people with military titles trying to volunteer. Which is nice, but I can't use them here, and I can't.
Bob, a clone of John in his stocking, says Eleanor.
That's
and
probably true.
Shuk wants a beak pad machine.
Look at this. This is.
Or some genetic laboratory equipment, so she can manage to grow you a third arm.
Look at this. Look at this. Lorelei stopped. She's been preening her for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And the look on this the face of Jazz, it's like, you can't stop. Where do you go? Come back here. And Lorelei's, what? What? No, I'm not gonna just preen you forever. Right, Lorelei?
I know what Lorelei would have in her stocking. Only zippers, full of zippers to chew.
Zippers and buttons. Oh.
Mm. Mm.
Pretty
And
bird.
Pippa probably something from
Pretty bird.
about Steve. Steve wearing a stocking.
Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Pretty bird.
I think she figured
Bird.
out we're talking about popcorn machines.
Pop, 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 popcorn. Pop, 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 popcorn.
And Sugar says, by the way, if you buy a popcorn machine, buy a fryer for my fries.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do some of that kind of stuff outside if we get a place. You know, I could make pop. I can't really use a fryer inside, but I can use it outside.
Okay. Sabrina posted again something about the USDA, so US Department of Agriculture, and it's about changes to the animal welfare regulation for birds.
I'll have to look into it. That would not be good if they were going to try to stop people from who have rescues from putting birds up there. Now there might be some good to it. It all depends, because some people, do horrible things with their birds online.
Yes, but when it's only about rescues, that would be terribly unfair, because it basically would prohibit to make the money to maintain the birds and help them medically and so. And well, we are living in capitalism, so everyone has to earn his own money. So, and this is a way you don't do it in a cruel way. You do it just in, you don't bother the birds when you film them out in the aviary and people can see what you are doing. And also you do educate, so that would be not good.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Obviously, I will have to look into it. It's not going to be good if that's the case. It'd be really tough to get funding. The other side of it is that the organizations that manage sanctuaries worldwide, they don't want you doing videos. So regardless of whether or not the animals like these like to be out, and the videos don't bother them, I'm just holding a camera on them. It's obviously she's still getting petted, which is what she wants. Little girl, right? Little girl. Of course, Mander has to try to get into the fray up here too. Well, folks, that's it for today. I got people that have to catch some sleep, and they're helping. Thank you, Amy, and thanks, Eleanor, for being here. And thank you all for coming. And we'll see you all again soon. Not soon enough, though. Maybe we'll do a special. We got holidays coming up, so I don't know about doing a special, but probably the Monday. You guys have a good holiday, and I'll try to put up a few more.
To everyone, enjoy your time.
Try to put up a few more holiday type videos if I can. If they can get away from the computer filling in forms. Everybody have a good holiday if we don't see you before then. And Lorelei, you want to say goodbye? No? Lucy, you want to say pretty bird? Lucy, you want to say pretty bird? No? Not going to say pretty bird? Pop, 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 popcorn? Yeah, I know you almost said pretty bird. Pretty bird? Pretty bird. Okay, you guys.